Yeah, it's so funny. I
And
saw
people are
trees.
like,
Do
this
you see
is
all the Miss
people-
Cleo memes?
Miss Cleo?
Oh, it's so funny.
Who's Miss Cleo?
You don't remember the Miss
Oh,
Cleo?
the psychic?
Yeah,
Is she
the
a psychic?
psychic. They keep on putting the Miss Cleo memes out for Candace because she's a psychic, you know?
That's hilarious.
It is funny.
I think this lighter just shit the bed. Can I borrow that other one? Thank you. Yeah.
It's really funny.
Well, Candace has painted herself into a weird corner where everything has to be a wild conspiracy. Like, it has to be Bridget McCron's a man.
Oh, yeah, it's-
Erica Kirk killed Charlie. It has to, like, one-up the last one, you know?
Yeah. It's really funny he came to the same conclusion that I did. So it's like, I've seen those conspiracy channels come up before, and then they come up and they crash out. And the reason is because, like, for her, I think she had the whole, like, she was involved with this, right? She was involved intricately with Kirk. She knew him.
Yeah.
And so that gave a lot of credibility to a lot of the things that she was saying. But then once you start moving back into like Mandela effect stuff and
Yeah.
you know, time travel and
Time
this and that,
travel.
yeah, people are like, ah.
I mean, you could do that if you're that guy, if you're Art Bell, you know, if you
Well, you know, but Bell, I remember I used to listen to Bell all
He's
the
the
time.
goat. That's
Oh
why
yeah,
I got
he was
him up
great.
on the wall over there.
You remember that intro? Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so
From the Kingdom of Nod.
yeah. I remember listening to him for years when I drive around with my dad. Right?
Yeah.
And he was like it was a big deal. And I remember the very first episode I heard from him, it was something about the NIM. It was like,
What's the NIM?
The NIM were like, this guy called in, he was a time traveler, right? And he came back in time because his whole thing was like, he had to stop the weather patterns from destroying the future because the NIM, an alien race of grays, had come and they were heating up the planet slowly to change it to be the conditionals that were necessary for them to then live on the planet. And, you know, Art Bell, he's always playing into it with the lunatics, you know,
Sure.
and he's like, and does the CIA currently know that you're there doing this? You know? And the dude's just like,
Yeah, Art would give you all the rope.
Oh, yeah.
You could call it, Art, I'm a werewolf. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh,
How
did you ever
how
hear the
did you get
Bigfoot
bitten?
episode?
No.
Oh, my God. That's the funniest episode you'll ever hear. So
Really?
Redneck calls into Art Bell and talks about how he killed Bigfoot and where he buried it. And the guy it's like, I don't know if it was early trolling, like before trolling was trolling, but it was like this guy, he was like, yeah, you know, me and Timmy, we took him out back there, we shot him right in the chest twice, and there were some youngins, and they spread out a little bit, and then we packed up the Bigfoot and buried him in the backyard. You know, and Bell's just like, and you said there was youngins.
The Bigfoot people are the weirdest. Duncan Trussell and I went hunting for Bigfoot once. We did this. I used to do this TV show for a while called Joe Rogan Questions Everything. And I would go like, all right, tell me about chemtrails. You know, and I'd go meet with all the loons and all the people that are like really involved in UFO, anything like that.
Yeah.
And we went and hung out with the Bigfoot people. So we went Bigfoot hunting for like 2 days in the Pacific Northwest and talked to all these people. And they're all like the same person. I just said it's like a team of unfuckable white guys. It's like, that's what you find. Like, these guys are just like, they found their calling. It's just looking for a mystery in the woods that you'll never solve.
Well, there was a guy you used to have on your podcast, and he was huge for a long time, and I think it still is. It's remember those missing cases? Mm-hmm. Right? That's a big deal. And I was always like, anytime I heard anything about that, I always was enthralled with it because some of the stories were demented.
Yeah.
You know, like kids appearing 500 miles away and all this.
Uh-huh.
But that guy always had you edged because people would always go, "What do you think's going on?" You know, and he'd
What was
go,
that guy's name?
I can't remember it, but it was like missing.
Yeah,
missing 411.
411.
Yeah, missing 411.
I've seen him on Instagram or on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got all the park records, you know, and he started going through and he was like, there's some really weird stuff going on here for how many people are missing in national parks.
There is, but the reality is if you die in the woods, you get consumed pretty quick. That's the reality. That's why you don't find mountain lion skeletons. Mountain lions are a real thing. I've never found a dead mountain lion skeleton in all the times I've been hunting. Never, not once. You'll find elk bones. You'll find stuff like that.
I found some coyote skeletons before out in the Nevada desert.
But mountain lions are a real thing. You very, 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 very rarely find a dead mountain lion.
Yeah.
And there's so many of them. Now think about how few people actually go like hiking into the deep wilderness. Your body just gets consumed.
Sure.
There's so many animals that come along, rats, all kinds of things eat your bones.
Well, yeah, it's a free meal.
Yeah, it's so easy.
And they can smell it for miles.
Sure. Bears.
Yeah.
Anywhere there's wild pigs, and then it's over. Then there's nothing left.
Yeah, they can smell that stuff for miles.
But it's like people always want to attach some crazy, deeper, weird, UFO, Bigfoot meaning to it. It's like, no, you're in the wild, and nature has a whole plan for dead things, and it does a really good job of consuming
they don't
them.
last.
Not at all.
Well, that's the thing. If you live out in the country, you see this all the time. Raccoon will be around getting in someone's trash. They'll walk out. Bam! Raccoon's done. They just go throw it in the bushes. Mm-hmm. You don't need. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Problem solved.
Problem solved, and it disappears quickly, and the plants consume it, and that's it.
It's true.
It rots, and things eat it.
Doesn't even take that long to rot. It's just
pretty
gone.
quick. It's pretty quick. Have you ever seen like those time-lapse photos where they take a dead animal and they let it sit there, and you watch it get consumed by maggots, and it's very quick.
Yeah.
So these poor people that go hiking, like if you go hiking and you're by yourself and you break an ankle and you're 15 miles in and you don't have a compass and you're kind of like roughly judging which hill you came over. And there's a lot of people that just get ahead of themselves and they really shouldn't be that far out there and they just die. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
So like this idea that it's like if you look at all the data and you try to find a pattern to it and you start imagining that there's some grand conspiracy, there's some watcher in the woods that's consuming people, some demon that's out there, you can get pretty kooky with your ideas.
I think the popular theory is it's wild men.
Oh, wild men.
Wild men.
Oh, like humans?
Yeah, well, or some human variant that are...
That's what this 411 guy believes?
I'm not sure because he won't say. He doesn't actually give his here's what I think is going on. But people ask him and he's like, well, I have my theories, but he never tells you actually what the theories are.
Interesting. I wonder why he doesn't want to tell. Maybe that's why he's not more popular. If he just came out with it, like Candace, maybe it'd be huge.
Yeah, like those guys that used to be in the 90s who were saying that we were going underground and killing the Nephilim. Those guys were great. You're going down and it's like, oh, man, and they were giants. They had 3 rows of teeth, and their special forces are going down there and taking them out.
There's a whole group of people that believe that there's underground creatures that live underground and come out at night, and there's always been like
cryptids.
Whatever they are.
Yeah.
Some people think the Greys live underground. There's not a lot of mystery left. Outside of places like the Amazon, the Congo that are super deep to get to. Not a whole lot of mystery left in terms of life.
Maybe ocean depths.
Yeah. Ocean depths for sure.
That's like the whole new unexplored frontier, right? Is ocean depths.
Yeah.
So anytime I turn on the TV, it's like, look at this crazy creature. I'm like, that doesn't exist. And I look it up. I'm like, wait, that exists? I saw one the other day. I tweeted out. I was like, the Mandela effect has to be real. It's called a Siberian mule deer. You ever seen a Siberian mule deer?
No.
They have fangs.
Oh, right. I have seen a fanged deer. I forget what they call it. Apparently, that's the, do you know what elk ivories are?
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be like a tusk, like way, way back in the day.
It's so retarded looking, dude.
Yeah, the fanged deer. Yeah, they're weird. It's very strange.
Yeah.
I wonder what they were there for.
Yeah, well, I found a video because I was like, no way, dude, these things exist. I thought I was being memed, so I would look, and this thing is real. So I found a video of them fighting, and they use those things as weapons.
Oh, that makes sense. That's the only thing that makes sense. Like gorillas. The gorillas don't eat meat, yet they have these massive fangs. Yeah. Nature's weird. So much variation, There's so many different types of life. And the fact that they all sort of synchronize, like this one eats that one and that one eats this one and this one he lives there and that one lives there. It's very fascinating when you really look at the wide variety of species that exist.
Well, most people don't know anything about it. Like
Yeah.
most people have never. We live in such a comfortable world that is completely guarded from everything that's out there. And it's like if people had a taste of out there,
Yeah.
I think that the worldview of many, many people would change very quickly, especially feminists. I think that feminists would immediately stop being feminist if they just had a taste of like, well, people actually did have to shut themselves up at night from wolves.
Yeah.
That was a real thing. Wolves would come in and eat you. And so you would shut yourself in so that didn't happen.
Well, that's gone so far the other way that fucking retards are bringing wolves into places.
Yeah, I know.
It is so dumb. I have a good friend.
Didn't they take it over like in Yellowstone or someplace? They reintroduced wolves
Yes.
and it just decimated the deer
Well,
population?
the elk population, but that's actually arguable that might have been a good thing in some ways because it was getting to elk need natural predators and mountain lions can only kill so many elk.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting is mountain lions kill way more elk when wolves are around because the wolves find the mountain lions and take their elk. And so then the mountain lions have to go kill another deer or whatever.
Why like just issue more hunting elk permits though? Like why do that?
Well, you have to have some natural predators in a good, healthy ecosystem. And there's a good argument, particularly in Montana, that at one point in time it had gotten to a point where you're going to have like rampant disease because they were issuing these they were issuing like unlimited or a large amount of tags for people in the midwinter so that you can catch these elk in deep snow and just peck them off because they were having so many of them and that they weren't sustainable, that they were hitting these massive populations. So their populations are down to like, I want to say less than 40% of what they were at their peak when they brought in the wolves. But the problem is these wolves, like what they did in Colorado recently is the dumbest of all time. Because they brought these fucking wolves outside of Aspen, and they took wolves from Washington State or Oregon, but whatever it was, these wolves from the Pacific Northwest were wolves that already had been killing cattle. So they captured these wolves instead of killing them, and then they relocated them to Aspen, where they're killing cattle. So they relocated them onto my buddy's ranch. Like there's 5 of them.
And he had a cattle ranch, did he?
He doesn't have cattle on his ranch, but his fucking neighbors do.
Okay.
And his neighbors are losing cattle left and right. And so now they've killed off a couple of them and they're trying to it was a disaster. And it's because the governor's husband, he's a wildlife lover and he thinks it would be amazing if we had wolves.
You ever
in
talk
our
to those
community.
old deer hunters in Michigan?
In Michigan?
Yeah, they've been pissed off for like every deer hunter I know in Michigan has been pissed off who's a native for years because they all used to shoot pheasant. That was the big deal in Michigan was pheasant. Mm-hmm. And then here's the story I heard. I don't know if it's true or not, right? But the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, imported a bunch of western coyotes in order to thin out the deer population because the deer population was basically mangling all these farm crops.
Oh, boy.
And now that's an all-you-can-eat buffet for a coyote in Nevada, these ground birds that are just these fat little ground birds, and they decimated the population. So you'll talk to these old deer hunters. Have you seen any pheasant? No, shut up. Shut up.
The interesting thing about that, though, is pheasant's an invasive species. That's not a natural North American species either. They brought those fuckers over. I mean, they are delicious. Yeah. And it's fun to hunt them.
Well, they would always just walk those train tracks, those old abandoned train tracks, and they'd have the dogs. Dogs kick up the pheasant. They'd shoot them from the track. Dog would bring it up. That was like a Michigan pastime.
Yeah, the coyote thing's a real problem because coyotes are now, they used to be a Western animal, and now they're in all 50 states. Yeah. Not only that, they're in virtually every city in America.
Well, they've been wiping them out in Michigan pretty good in the rural areas. Oh, yeah. Well, what they do now is they have the GPS trackers, put them on the dogs. Old boys will get in with AR-15s. Those dogs will run them for 200 miles, and then they finally take a shot, and they just will do that all winter long, man.
That's good, but it's hard to wipe them out because what they do is, when you hear coyotes calling, it's like roll call. Like when they're letting, sometimes there's a lot of confusion to what they're doing. Some people think that they're letting the other coyotes know that they've killed something, that we have food, but it's also a roll call. And when one of the coyotes is missing, the females have more pups.
Really?
It's some weird natural reaction. Also, their natural enemy is gray wolves. And when they evolved to when the gray wolves killed them, because the gray wolves don't breed with coyotes, but coyotes do breed with red wolves. That's why you have these like coy wolves on the East Coast.
Just like
because
coy
a coyote
dogs.
is a wolf. It's a wolf. It's just a small wolf. And so their natural inclination is when they're getting chased, they move to a new area, and then they have even more pups. So that's how they've spread out through the entire country. So if you go back to like the turn of the century, like the 1900s, coyotes were exclusively a Western animal.
Yeah.
Now they're in New York City.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Which is crazy. They have them in Central Park. They have fucking coyotes running around Central Park. Some lady this morning posted on X a mountain lion in San Francisco sitting on a porch in the city of San Francisco, a big one, just sitting there. It's like...
Just having a good time.
Well, that's just because California has the dumbest fucking laws when it comes to those things.
Yeah. Well, they have terrible gun laws, too. They have
terrible laws.
They have terrible laws, period.
They have terrible laws, terrible everything.
Terrible politicians.
Yeah.
You know, it's a shame, too. Like, I grew up in Santa Rosa, and that's the most beautiful area. The Napa Valley area, it's the most beautiful area on planet Earth.
Yeah.
The weather's always perfect. It's January 15th. It might as well be July 15th.
Yep.
Right? It's always perfect. It's always gorgeous. And they fucked it all up.
They fucked it all up.
They fucked it all up.
Yeah.
And they fucked it up real bad, too.
Oh, it's almost unfixable now, especially like the San Francisco area. Like the whole Pacific Northwest is almost unfixable. It's like they double down and they keep going. Like Seattle now has a communist mayor.
Yeah.
Who's been living with her parents.
Well, New York had, they all got communist mayors.
and then-
Black Lives Matter they were their head organizers. They were communists, avowed communists. Like
until it came to buying property with Black Lives Matter money.
yeah.
What's happening with that?
Well, then they're very much capitalistic.
How come they're not in trouble? I don't understand that. Like they spent millions of dollars of that money on real estate.
Yeah.
There's only one UFC 325 this Saturday, and on DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook for live betting. Once it's over, your shot to get in on the action is gone. DraftKings Sportsbook is built for live betting, not just pre-fight picks, because in the UFC, one moment can flip the entire fight. One punch, one kick, one takedown. New to DraftKings, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins with code Rogan. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code Rogan. That's code Rogan to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
What's going on?
No idea. I have no idea why. Well, I don't know why the heads of many of these organizations aren't being rounded up and summarily arrested.
Yeah.
I mean, we're watching these. I've been covering the riots nonstop. I'm sorry, protests. The completely organic protests, which are totally organic.
Yeah.
And it's been interesting to watch. I was watching one the other day. We were live, and it was Don Lemon, and he had showed up in Minnesota. And the first thing Don Lemon does, right? I hate Don Lemon, by the way. But the first thing he does,
one of the dumbest motherfuckers that has ever gotten on television.
He's terrible. First thing he does, he drives up in this car. He's in the back seat, and he jumps out of the car, and he has this shit-eating lemon smile on his face, and he runs over with Starbucks to these people, and he's like, "Here you go."
Yeah.
And then he jumps back in the car, right? And they drive off. Now here's what's interesting about this. He comes back. And he's in there with the protesters, you know what I mean? And he's interviewing them. Most of the protesters are saying, we're coming from out of town. We're from this state. I'm from 2 states away. I'm from 3 states away, for this totally organic protest. Well, the cops, what they start doing, they have these guardrails on the sidewalk in front of the ICE facility, and there's gaps inside of that barrier. And so they pull their police cruisers in just to fill those gaps so that they stay behind the barrier. And Lemon's like, why would they do that? Why would they keep us compressed, behind this barrier? And I'm thinking, because you just stopped your car in the middle of the street to run across the road and give these guys Starbucks, you idiot. They want to keep the roadway clear so that they can get their people in and out. You literally stopped your car in the middle of the road, ran across the street to give these people Starbucks, and then got back in your car. And you're like, why is it that they're trying to keep us from getting into the road? I'm like, what are you talking about? I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what?
It's amazing when these people that are so smug, where they're protected by a large organization, by CNN, and then they get fired, and then they're basically like a dog, like Carl, getting released into the woods, and then they have to fend for themselves. And you see them in the world of podcasting where you don't have anybody writing things for you, and you have to express your own opinions. You're like, oh, this is the real you.
It turns out you're a moron. I didn't know. Whoa. The whole time, imagine you're thinking the whole time, I never thought I'd be an entertainer. I didn't think I'd do anything with podcast. Never in a million years. I never would have thought that.
You were, what were you, an engineer or a robotics guy?
Mechanic, yeah.
A robotics mechanic?
Yeah.
How did you get involved in that?
Well, I was a gunsmith for years. And there's no real applicable skills outside of that for anything, actually. It doesn't really carry over in anything. It's really its own thing. Bluing, things like that. It just doesn't carry over. A friend of mine said, hey, look, because I told him, I was like, I need a job. I'm not making it. What do you think? He's like, you should apply to be an industrial mechanic. And I was like, I don't know much about it. He's like, well, just go apply. So I did, took an aptitude test. And so the guy was like, well, I want to hire you at a level 3, which was high, it was like mid-range. Wasn't the highest, wasn't the lowest. And I was like, damn, okay. What's the pay? He's like, well, it's like $30 an hour. I was like, that to me was life-changing. So I took the job, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but they trained me up well. And then there were some robots on the floor, and I started working on those. And then from there, they trained me in robotics. And so it was all done on site.
Like what kind of automation? Like car assembly?
Yep, automation, and it was all food-related.
Food-related.
Mm-hmm. All food robots, yep. So we weren't dealing with Johnny Five. We were dealing with like vacuum systems and ovens and various robots which were associated with those. Like, for instance, there was a packaging machine that would all it would do is form boxes. That's all it did. That's it. But it would form 1,000 boxes a minute, and it was a giant robot, and it had a huge sequence of functions on it. When people think robot, they always think humanoid, but almost no robot is in any way humanoid at all.
Right.
That's just not what they're for.
It is weird, right? That we think of robots as like movie robots. Mm-hmm. We think of iRobot.
Yeah, if you came across a robot in a factory, you would have no idea it was a robot. You'd be like, what the hell is that?
So how did you go from that to debating people online?
COVID. So
really?
the lockdowns happened, and I was laid off. All the food plants in Michigan were shut down, especially the meat plants, and that's where I was. I was in the meat plants, and they all shut down because of the draconian restrictions of one Gretchen Whitmer. And anyway, while she was out with on a boat partying with with her honey, we were all locked out of work, right? So
familiar story.
Yeah, we had the stay-at-home orders, and I would argue with these dumb liberals on Facebook, and they pissed me off, and so I started crashing their panels, and I would debate with them, and I had a lot to say. And those things started to become more and more popular, and they would move over to YouTube. People would clip it. And then I started getting invited on to do debates with other people. And I didn't know who these people were. It wasn't my world. Like, I didn't know who any of these podcasters were, stuff like that. I'd listen to it maybe occasionally online, but like I couldn't have told you who like Vosh was or Destiny or any of these people. Like, I didn't know who any of them were. And I didn't care. To me, it was just some other dumb, smug liberal, So that's where I got my start. I never would have foreseen at all that I'd be sitting here with you.
That's so interesting. Well, I never would have foreseen I would have been here either.
It's weird, huh?
Yeah, it's weird. Very weird.
And I'll never get used to it. And
No.
people walk over and they're like, "You're Andrew Wilson," and I'm like, "I'm fucking nobody," you know what I mean? But it's nice to meet you. You know, you shake their hand, you have a chat with them. I'll never get used to it.
No, you probably shouldn't. It's probably better to not get. I'm not used to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm used to
it's
it.
probably
man.
better to not be used to it.
Yeah.
Keep you sane.
And maybe keep you humble.
Yeah, you need something. You need something to keep you humble. We all know people that did not have something that kept them humble, and they lost their way. The wheels fall off.
Yeah, those are marbles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Especially
I
as you get more and more famous, it becomes more and more unmanageable.
I feel like I'm pretty well grounded due to the fact that I didn't come from a political background. There's no famous people in my family. You know, there's just none of that. And so I feel like the grounding's always there because, you know, even from the family, you get the call, like from my brother, for instance, like he's been calling me I don't know if you can say the F slur here, so I won't, but he's been calling me, faggot. He's been, you know, he's been like the phone call since I was 15. What are you doing, faggot? Has not changed.
Good.
It has not changed. You know, it's 42. He's a happy birthday, faggot.
That's normal.
Yeah.
I remember you were having a conversation. I think it was on Pierce Morgan, who is the best cat wrangler in the business.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what he does. He cat wrangles.
Yeah, I just talked to him briefly.
Is he okay?
On it. Well, that's what I asked him.
Yeah.
I sent him a DM and I was like, hey,
For people who
man.
don't know, he fell.
Yeah, he fell.
And really fucked
And it was
himself
the
up.
hip.
Yeah.
And at his age, the hip, you know, you don't want to, nothing with the hip.
Yeah.
Every time I see anybody who's 60s, they get the hip injury, it's bad.
Yeah, it's not good. I think they think your lifespan at post hip surgery is like 10 years.
Yeah, it's right. And
He'll probably be better than that.
he will.
'cause he's
And I think he's
wealthy
mobile.
Oh,
you
that's
know?
good.
He's mobile.
Well,
But I
they're
asked
really
him,
good at hip replacements now.
I was like, "What's you know? Are you doing?" He's like, "Yeah, you know, I'm doing okay." And I was like, "Don't fuck around with the hips, dude."
It's crazy that he had to have a hip replacement. Like, how bad was that fall?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the details of it were, but
I felt like a sack of spuds, he wrote. Wound up needing a new hip after fracturing the neck of his femur and is recovering from surgery. In addition to being on crutches for 6 weeks, he won't be allowed to take any long-haul flights for at least 12 weeks. He tripped on a small step inside of a London restaurant.
resulting
Wow.
in the tumble. You think he was drunk?
He could have been a little fired
A
up.
little drunk?
Was also, not the most fit or agile guy in the world,
True. Yeah.
He's only 2 years older than me.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Not crazy.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah. Some
But-
people
Yeah.
don't take care of themselves.
Yeah, he got the crack. Yeah, I got to quit these. But yeah, he got the crack on the hip, and I was like, man,
Do you think that American spirits are better than Marlboros for you?
probably.
Yeah.
But they taste like shit.
Do they?
Oh,
Is
they're
there a
terrible.
difference?
Yeah.
You really like the Marlboro taste?
Yeah, I
You don't
do.
think you could get used to American spirits?
I think I could.
Um.
I've been trying the cigarellos. Those
What
have
are
been
those?
helpful. Like the little mini cigarette cigars.
Oh yeah, Ron White used to smoke those.
Yeah.
He just quit totally. He went to a hypnotist, quit instantaneously. But those are loaded with nicotine, like way more nicotine than a cigarette. He was smoking those.
Yeah,
What are
good.
those little tins? We have those.